waiting for an official word as far as the IPL auction is concerned, as to making things official as far as retentions are concerned. We're waiting for all those details, but we still continue to gather information from various franchises. Today though, we managed to gather something from the Rajasthan Royals. Not too long back, we told you about the four retentions that SRH are looking at. Now the three gentlemen that you see on the screen, well, sources telling India Today at the moment, and that's why Siddharth and I are here to tell you what this move could look like for the Rajasthan Royals. There is an absentee over here, and we'll talk about a certain Yuzvendra Chahal as well. But what we're getting to know right now is Sanju Samson, the captain of the franchise, Yashasvi Jaiswal, opener of the franchise, and should I say all-rounder of the franchise, and the golden eye and the blue-eyed boy in Riyan Parag. All three, what we're getting to know, will be the top three retentions of the Rajasthan Royals. We can't really tell you or give you a breakdown of what the price looks like. Again, as you know, franchises have the liberty of that 75 crore pool that they have. They can distribute among those 5 players, up to 5 players that they are willing to retain. But this, what we're getting to know, are going to be the three retentions. Yuzi Chahal, will come to him in just a bit. But Siddharth, opening thoughts on the three names that we just told our family members about?
I think as expected, Sanju Samson and Yashasvi Jaiswal, I think they were among the top 2 picks that even we also had when the, I think the list
when we were doing the mock,
we were doing the mock auction there. But overall, I think when it comes to the fact that if you have to give a Sanju Samson, for example, an 18 crore, I think it does make sense, to be honest, because he solves a total of 3 purposes for you.
Could we in fact say they're standing in order of retentions, 18 crore, 14 crore, 11 crore?
I would like to believe so. 18, 14, 11. Yeah. But I think, in case of Sanju Samson, it does make sense to give him 18 crore. He solves 3 purposes for you. He's a captain. RR have actually had a resurgence under him. He's reached a final also. There have been a couple of playoff finishes. In case of Jaiswal, I think his stature has grown ever since he has gotten into the Indian team in Test and the T20I sides. But then in case of Riyan Parag, well, I still am not sure whether you would want to give him an 11 crore amount, or maybe is he that worthy enough to be your third retention here? Because at a personal level, I feel that there is a certain Joss Butler that is missing here. There is a certain Trent Bolt missing here. For that matter, even Shimron Hetmeyer, a franchise in which RR actually invested in the last 3 years or so. So I'm pretty fine with the first 2 retentions if they really, come out to be true. But in case of Riyan Parag, I'm not really sure about it.
Are we really surprised over here? This is the same chap that was backed by the franchise 3 years back at the mega auction as well. It sort of took a few people by surprise back then also. But you do sort of get a feeling from RR that they're trying to build a core. Sanju Samson is part of that core. Yashasvi Jaiswal is part of that core. And I think Riyan Parag also fits the bill as far as that core of Rajasthan Royals is concerned. I would say Yuzi Chahal is part of that core as well to an extent. Even Ravichandran Ashwin, of course you can't retain all of them. In fact, Joss Butler, I would add as well, is part of the core as well. However, I think I sort of agree with you. While I have no qualms in retaining Riyan Parag, but I think the price tag is a bit of a problem for me, because at 11 crores, I doubt. Yes, there will be interest in Riyan Parag, and I know he's going through a bit of a resurgence. He had a very good year in the domestic last year. He impressed very recently in the Indian colours as well. And the franchise really likes him. The franchise really backs him. That is one thing we know. However, if I were there, if I could put in a word to the RR management, maybe, or if I had the veto, I would possibly save my RTM chip for Riyan Parag. I would still want him because I want to retain my core. But do I see the price going beyond 11 or even getting to 11 crores? I think I'm 60-40 on that. It could, but 60% I believe that maybe I could have gotten him at a lower price bracket or a lower price point than that. Yeah. That's my feeling. But since we're speaking of RTMs, let's now reveal the big secret that we have in store for everyone. What about Yuzvendra Chahal, and why is he not standing over here? Yuzvendra Chahal, as we are getting to know right now, is that the franchise is deciding or is just in the finishing stages, just in the final stages of using the RTM chip for Yuzvendra Chahal. The franchise doesn't look at Yuzvendra Chahal as a direct retention, as is the case with the Sanju, Jaiswal and Riyan Parag. They do want him around, but they are saving the RTM chip. They believe possibly for lesser than 11 crores they can get Yuzvendra Chahal, but I wonder how that will happen.
I'm not really sure about it, but if I am a part of the RR management, I'm definitely going to have him as one of my retentions, because he's one of your very underrated performers, and he always has been in the IPL for that matter, even in Indian colors also. But then I think you would in case of Riyan Parag, why I somehow get a feeling why he could very well be your third retention, because you definitely want to prepare a successor of Sanju Samson. See, Sanju is obviously not getting any younger.
You think leadership role?
Absolutely.
One of the man over here who's far more consistent and is an all-format player, unlike Riyan right now.
Personally, I don't mind, having Yashasvi Jaiswal in the leadership role. But in case of Riyan Parag, I think there have been more reports or more said about his leadership skills. He has more of an astute mind, nothing less about Yashasvi Jaiswal here. Yeah. But then Riyan Parag is definitely touted to be the next RR skipper after Sanju Samson. So it does make sense, and obviously Riyan Parag is kind of a very rare commodity that you have in Indian cricket circuit, that he is a batter, full-time batter who can actually chip in with those useful overs, and he's shown in the Indian colors also. So I think maybe RR wants to make him a triple package, something that a Sanju Samson currently is. Your leader, your part-time bowler, and a full-time batter also.
But then, if I'm retaining Sanju at 18, I do go into the next IPL cycle thinking that for the next 3 years, Sanju is the man.
Yeah.
Maybe going forward, the reins could be passed on to a Riyan or somebody else. That we'll have to wait and see. But I do agree the fact that things are very well aligned for Riyan Parag at the franchise. But at some point,
in case of Rajasthan Royals, if there's one thing that I have understood is that they are one of the very few franchises who believe in player loyalty, who believe in giving their loyalty to the players. We've seen in case of Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
Hardik Pandya was a different.
I would say they're the third franchise now who are genuinely putting in an effort of having a core in place.
Absolutely, and that's what I think. That is one of the major reasons why franchises, in the reports that did the rounds before finally BCCI revealed the retention list, that franchises are keen on having a retention of close to 5 or 6 players, be it Indian or overseas, because that they are going to form your core. This is something that they have done in the past 3 years or so. So I think coming back to the topic of Yuzvendra Chahal, I'm a little surprised that he'll be one of your possible RTMs.
Are making a mistake here? Are they taking too much of a gamble by throwing him in the auction, saving the RTM for him?
Possibly, because see, there are going to be a couple of franchises who are going to start from the scratch and who wouldn't mind investing about 10,
Punjab
12
are always right up there.
Yeah, Punjab are always right up there. So are going to be Royal Challengers Bengaluru, for that matter, even Lucknow Super Giants, because there's also a report doing the rounds that they're not going to retain KL Rahul. So that's where I feel that letting go of Yuzvendra Chahal might not be that of a good move by Rajasthan Royals, because that once he goes into the auction, there's a good chance that he can be snapped by any of the franchises for about 12, 13 or 14 crores for that matter.
It could be a homecoming for Yuzvendra Chahal if Rajasthan Royals put him in the auction and RCB are to go for him in the auction. Again, that is something we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, in case you're joining us right now, before we wind up, Sanju Samson, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Riyan Parag, sources telling Sports Today at the moment that these three are the names that the Rajasthan Royals management has freezed upon, and these three names are likely to be retained. For Yuzvendra Chahal, an RTM chip could be saved. There are other names as well doing the rounds. Remember, they've got a Trent Bolt, they've got a Joss Butler, they've got a Shimron Hetmeyer. All of those, explosive players also up their ranks, but you can only retain 5, as we know, and at the moment these 3 names are topping the list. So for now, Siddharth and I will be taking your leave. Do subscribe to Sports Today if you like what we do over here, and to stay updated with not just the IPL, for everything sport, and do tap that bell so that every time we have a new offering for you, you guys are the first ones to know. For now, on behalf of Pawan, our dear producer, Siddharth Gulati, I'm Harshit Ahuja. We'll see you in the evening. Bye-bye.